Hello everyone and welcome to Inside Procurement, the SmartCube's video forum examining the concepts and ideas that influence procurement and supply chain executives both today and tomorrow. In this episode, we take on a question that just about every senior procurement leader has asked us. How do I ensure that my team stays focused on the strategic and spends as little time as possible on the tactical? We'll spend some time on how we think about the strategic versus tactical trade-off, what you're losing by not spending enough time on managing this trade-off, and then some practical advice on how you can ensure that your team does strategic right. For starters, it's a given that today's procurement departments need to be focused on doing strategic work. I mean, that's about the most obvious statement that you could make. And we hear variants of this all the time. Spend time on high value add. Focus on your 80-20. Become a trusted advisor. The fact is, though, that this does not always happen. And there are plenty of teams out there that struggle with this despite their very best efforts. How can you tell? By looking at the nature of what they're doing. Short-term outlooks with very little forecasting. Transactional administrative activities that really become your dominant work. Decisions that are consistently being made on a reactive basis. Very little time spent speaking with and understanding the requirements of your stakeholders. And this then plays out practically in many different ways. For example, internal customers might be clamoring to get their needs met, so category folks resort to 3 bids and a buy to resolve the most urgent need. Or you have situations where procurement decisions are made primarily on price and available delivery dates, meeting short-term requirements rather than thoughtfully, proactively considering the total cost of ownership. Or you're engaging with key suppliers only at what we call reactionary points, when it's negotiation time, or when there are roadblocks or problems, or when something fundamentally changes in the supplier's marketplace. If this sort of thing happens every now and then, well, that's one thing. But if this is a pattern in your team, then you really need to take a harder look internally, because the impact is very, very real. Because the net result is that it's inhibiting your department from developing smarter strategic plans that help enable the achievement of your overall corporate goals, from having far more satisfied long-term people who find their work impactful, fulfilling, and valuable, from embedding stronger partnerships, not only with your suppliers, but also with your customers, both of whom then feel heard, engaged, and invested in your agenda, and of course, ultimately from achieving positive long-term ROI. In other words, if you can get your team to have the right outlook, the right mindset, and take the right actions that incent strategic rather than the tactical, they'll make sure that you deliver superior financial and operational results over the long term. Okay, so how do we get there? Here's 8 ideas to help move your team further along the path towards the strategic. Number 1, get complete buy-in at the senior level across functions around what your goals and priorities are for the year. This has to include not only what you will do, but who you will serve, what you won't do, and what different stakeholders across the company need to do to support you in getting to these goals. Number 2, understand what your key clients are looking for. In other words, better understand the voice of your customer. Listen to your internal customer surveys, engage with them, communicate with them regularly. The more you know what they want, the better you can service them. Number 3, think strategically about what to insource and what to outsource. Outsourcing the right activities will help free up your team's time to focus on what they should be doing. Number 4, look for opportunities to upskill your team with the capabilities that they need to be better business partners, to understand their areas more holistically, and to better analyze and process the information that they access. Number 5, be ruthless about what you spend time on and where your priorities are. Communicate these clearly and have the support at the senior levels to back you up on what and who you will support, and as importantly, who you won't. Number 6, measure individual performance on the basis of defined KPIs, so your people get measured on the right stuff and not on simply doing work. Number 7, invest in technology tools to simplify the various procurement processes so that those tools can do the basic fundamental work that needs to get done. Number 8, create self-service assets and toolkits for internal customers to reduce the time that your folks spend on tactical tasks. Automation, dashboards, selective outsourcing can all be a useful means to an end here. Okay, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. If you'd like to hear more from us, hit the subscribe button. And if you'd like to reach out, email us at info@thesmartcube.com. This was Inside Procurement.